Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this translated style of bow, and I'm going to refer to this as a tulip bow. And as you can see, I have already made this in 3-inch ribbon, which is a massive, just going to roll it out for you, from corner to corner. This is a massive 11.5 wide, well, long, and almost 6.5, 7 inches across. So like I said, it is a massive bow. My niece Ella, who is a big fan of the massive, so big you can, they're bigger than your face type bow, has already claimed this one via her mum. So like I said, that's in the 3-inch ribbon. I've also done it in the 2-inch ribbon, which is this pretty one with the butterflies. And I've also done it in the tiny 1-inch ribbon, but the measurements on this will also work on 7/8 because there's only 2mm difference. So like I said, you can always do it on this size, and all the sizes for the these will be in the description box below, same as always. And the bow that we're going to make today is going to be in the 1.5-inch ribbon, and what you need for that is 4 times 10.5 or 4 times 27 centimeters, depending on what you work with. And for the base, you need 21 inches and 6 inches for your little tail, because we're going to do a half pinwheel, and I'm going to show you how to have a little pop of colour on your tail. Okay, so I've got that. I've got a little bling centrepiece because I think that'll add a little bit of sparkle to this lovely ribbon here, and we'll just move these ones out of the way. Okay, and as you see, I've got my 4 pieces here, and I've already layered them, and I have also used my lighter to heat seal these edges together like so. So like I've got my plain colour on the bottom and this gorgeous marble print here. Okay, and like I said again, I've done exactly the same this side, heat sealed my ends together and pinched them so that they're stuck like this. And the other thing I've done is I pinned them dead centre. Now like I said, this is one that we make in 2 pieces. And like I said, I will advise, if you want your loops to stay nice and even, so if you want them to stay nice and tight and pointed, I would recommend some pins as you're making, because like I said, it just keeps everything in place. And the other thing with these, obviously on these ones, we've got more of the pattern showing than of the colour. So if you want to do that, I'll just show you the folds. So if you start with plain up, triangle down, triangle back, and we go round. So if you start with your plain up, you get a lot of colour showing. If you want less colour and just a little pop, you do your colour up, forward, back, round, and you'll only get like a little pop on that corner and on the back. So like I said, you can play around, like I said, decide which you personally prefer. On this one, like I said, I'm going to do with more colour and less of the plain, but like I said, you can play, you could even do one way and one the other way. Like I said, the method works with everything, and like I said, it's not a complicated bow, but like I said, the main thing is, like I said, keeping these triangle points nice and tight to keep the structure. And the other thing that I tried this with only 1 layer, because I thought to myself, it's quite a simple kind of style. If I could do it with 1 layer, maybe I can save people some ribbon. The reason we use 2 on this one is because it actually helps the structure of the bow, and these peaks and everything actually form how they should. So like I said, the 1 layer of ribbon just doesn't work. It's just too floppy, and like I said, it just sort of crumbles in on itself. It doesn't look very pretty. So like I said, that's why I always recommend using the 2 layers. Okay, so like I said, we've got our 2 layers. I'll just reheat this one. We've layered our coloured and our patterns on top of each other. We have heat sealed our ends together, and we have pinned directly in the centre. Okay, so the main thing to do now is, from the centre, you want to fold this down so that you get a triangle like this. And then this one, you want to fold it down to get a triangle. And again, pin this. Just get a couple more pins. Okay, and then what we do is you make this shape, which is like a square. So you take these two, go under, over, and make a nice square so that you've got like a peak, like a triangle here. And then what I do to make sure that these peaks stay nice and tidy and in place is I put a little pin in the back to hold that. And if you really wanted to, at this point, you could open this up and be very careful. You could put a drop of glue there, or like I said, even if you wanted to, you could put a drop of glue between those two layers to keep them nice and formed and that peak nice if you struggle to get the structure with just sewing. So like I said, that's one to remember. Then what we do is we take our tails from beneath, bring that directly up to this one, that side directly up to that piece, and this is what you get. So like I said, this is a back, and you've got like a little bit of a triangle back here, like this shape here, and you've got your peak this side like this. And we're going to do a stitches across here, but we're going to repeat exactly the same on this one. Like I said, plain side up, fold your triangle down this way, and pin, fold it back so you get the triangle this side, add your clip, get your nice peak like this so you've got the square here, and pin. Remember, you can add the glue here, here, and a tiny touch in there if you need to. And then we take this one up to this corner, and this one up to this corner, and we're just using those clips to hold everything in place. But do make sure when you're doing it that these are completely level, as you can see. So both pieces now look like this, and because we've done them both the same way, as you can see, you've got your plain colour this side this way, and we're going to stitch it, we've got the plain colour shown this way, so you get your nice contrast on this. Okay, and what you would do is you stitch up this way, and I have my double threaded extra strength Gutermann thread, and I recommend this because it's like a stronger, and I also use a longer than average darning needle in the UK, which is 7 centimeters long, and again it will help you keep even stitch placements. So I'm going to take our clip off this side, and you always want to start from above, and it's 6 on this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, let me just make them a little more even, 5, and the 6th one we want to go through the back of this corner here and through both sides of the triangle on this side, so here, so we've gone through those two, the 2 triangles at the back and the 2 at the front, and then we want to come over, and again we want to be going through those 2, the second 2, and the bottom layer from above. Okay, then you can take that clip off. We want to do the 5 this side, and again keep them nice and even, and I'll show you the stitch placements once we're there. We go. So in 1, 2, across there, 2, and out, and on the back it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you'll have 3 little stitches on either side, teeny tiny ones, and you've got in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out on this side. So like I said, that's about 6 over, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 12 overall. Okay, and that is really key, keeping those even and doing exactly the same on one side as you're doing on the other is vitally important to these kind of bows, because that's where you'll get your structure and that's where you'll get your balance. So we're just going to make sure that those are lined up. And again, start from above, and we're doing exactly the same thing. 6 to your triangle, 6 the other side, 12 in total. And like I said, keep them as even and everything as you possibly can. And on this side, we should always be coming up through the triangles. This side, we should always be going down through the triangle. And we come in this side, so we must always come out that side. There we go, nice and even. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so like I said, that's what we need. Like I said, nice and even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 in total. Okay, and then once you've got that, we can take our pins out of this side. I leave these ones in a second until everything's nicely gathered. And you can cinch these together like so. And you'll get 2 creases either side of your triangle. Then your triangle should dip, and you should get 2 creases the other side. So I'll just bring that a little bit closer so you can see. So your 2 creases there, your 2 creases there, and your triangle dipping right in the middle. And the same on the other side. Okay. 2, 2, triangle in the middle. And what I do is I always do the stitch round method. So I'm just going to make sure everything's nice. Yep. There we go. So I'm just going to make sure that that side's lined up with the 2 creases that side, 2 that side, and the dip in the middle. And I'm going to stitch around, and like I said, you need to go back through where you started your stitch there. Try and stay as close to that as possible, because that will hide it when we add our centre, because we don't want to see any stitches outside of that wrap. So go round, and this is what you'll start to get. You'll get this nice effect that's the same on both sides. And the other thing, again, I just line up those that side and go round again. Just so you know, you can make the pieces separately and glue or stitch them together as 2 individual pieces. This is just the method that I personally like best. And the other thing that I do is from beneath, I'm going to go straight through the 2 triangle dips just to stop that from opening up like that, because again, it's another thing that affects the structure of the bow, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go up through that triangle and over through that triangle point that side. And again, you want to stay as close to the centre as you can, because we don't want to see any of the stitching, and then you can just stitch off in the back. Okay, just untangle that so it doesn't get knotted. And there we go. So we've stitched that off in the back. Just move these clips out of the way. Okay, so what you should have is you've got your triangle shape here, so we can take our pins out now. And these sides, you should have like a natural curve down, naturally. That's how they should sit. Okay, so that's the front of your bow. And this is the back of the bow. Okay, so you should have those 2 like triangle points. And again, if you wanted to, obviously if you'd glued there, that's where they would sit. Okay, now the thing that I do to work out my base sizes is, obviously I've got my templates. So the thing that I like to do once I've made a bow up to work out how much of a, like I said, what style of bow I need underneath is I take my templates. I've got my 5-inch one here, and that is just the same size as the bow. So if I did a base bow underneath that, that would barely show. So if I want one with a little bit more visibility, you would use a 6 one. So like I said, you can use these to sort of work out how much of the bow underneath that you would see. So I've decided to use 6 on this because I think it needs a little bit of extra colour. And I'm going to show you how to add a little bit of a tail on this one as well with this colour bit. Let me just get my lighter. Just going to heat seal that edge so I don't forget. I'm going to just pop that to one side for a moment. Okay, so we've got our purple here, and like I said, this is exactly the same colour as our solid. And what we do is we wrap this part as normal, so slightly over our edge. If you want to do this freehand instead, there is a tutorial and I will link that in the description for you below. So before we wrap that completely around, what I'm going to do is take this, and you want it just over the stitch line, so here. Take a clip and hold that in place, and wrap that round. Line it up with that. Clip that there. Wrap that round. Like so. We could probably do slightly less on length, but like I said, I like to have a little bit to play with. And then wrap to get your pinwheel shape as normal. So like I said, this is what you should get. You should have, like I said, that little pop of colour around that side to go through, and that is enough so that we can stitch through on our template. And always from above with me. So 1, 2, 'll show you once I've done, because I don't like counting and concentrating, otherwise I tend to miscount my steps or not get them even. So in 1, 2, 3, out, and we want to start with 1, making sure it goes across on our, and what we can do if you want to at this point, if you want less this side, careful, take that underneath, and you can take that bit off. Take that off our templates. So, move that out of the way, and I'm just going to lift that so it's up like that, and you can reheat seal it, and then you cinch together, and you should have 4 nice creases. Okay, if you wanted to use this method to have like a pop of colour on either side of your tails, again, save you using so much coloured ribbon, you can use the same method the other side as well. But like I said, this is just a fun way, like I said, to add, like I said, a little bit of colour pop without, like I said, using the same 21 inches of colour and pattern ribbon. Okay, stitching stuff in the back, however you personally prefer. And as you can see, the tails are a little long, so what I like to do is take my ruler, and that one's 1.5 inches, just over, from that point, and that one's only 1, so I need to cut down the other side in a second. I'm just going to trim this a little bit, and then we're going to cut off so that there's only 1 inch, same as the other side on this. Just need that there, and that's what I do. Like I said, line it up with that square, same on both sides, and then you can work out that your tails are evenly as long both sides. Again, that's frayed a little bit, so I'm just gonna take care of that. There we go. And like I said, you can cut your tails however you like. I like a little bit of a curve on mine. So we're going to go down at an angle. And if you're not good at doing them evenly naturally, flip this over. So the other side we cut that way. Flip it over and you can pin it to your ribbon and use it as a guide so that your curves are always nice and even. If you trust yourself and you sort of naturally know how much you do anyway, you can do this. And the other thing with this is if you want a little peak of colour underneath, go like ½ centimetre or a centimetre up and do your curve a little bit further up. And then you get like a little tiny colour pop on your tail as well. And as we know, I'm not a massive fan of gluing, so I'm going to take my needle with this that's still wrapped and go straight up through my base bow through the centre, like this. You can glue, whatever you personally prefer. This is just how I do it. So lay that down. Take your bow that we've just made, the main bow, again, right through the centre. Line these up. As you can see, we've got a nice little peak of our colour. We've got this nice little colour pop tail on this side. Press that down nice and tight and then wrap a couple of times as tight as possible so that's nice and tight to the base bow. There you go, and then stitch off in the back however you personally prefer. Like I said, if you wanted to do the base bow on 5-inch template instead, like I said, that would work too. I just, like I said, a little bit, like to see a little bit of the bow underneath sometimes. But like I said, play around and work out what works for best for you. So there we go. We're going to add our centre. We're going to do a little bit of bling today. And I've got my clip to attach it all to. Now the only change in technique at all is on your 1-inch and 7/8 inch ribbon. Instead of doing 6 stitches either side, you would do 4. And like I said again, the 4th one would always go in over the corners of the triangle. And the same on the 3-inch ribbon if you really want it, instead of your 6 and 12. So like I said, decide what works best for you and what look you like best. But like I said, there's not really much change on any of the other sizes. The only one I haven't done is 2.5-inch ribbon because it's not as common in the UK as it is in some other places. And I don't like to give measurements that I haven't tried myself because I don't trust that they always work without that ribbon. Because like I said, I've tried it on paper sometimes, but without that give that ribbon naturally has, sometimes the sizes when you work with paper, you still have to adjust them a little bit. So I'm just going to take this round once and over, nice and tight. And on the second one, I'm going to take my little bling, and these are called sliders or buckles, and we go over the loop, through the loop, and back down. Line that up with your centre like so, and then glue and wrap the rest as normal, and don't forget to heat seal that 9mm there. And there we go, got our lovely tulip style bow. I might adjust my tails a little bit, make them less. Looking at it, if it was me, I might remake that and have the base with a 5-inch, but like I said, it's all about personal choices. I'll show you both ways so you can have a look and decide which one that you like. So this is one with a bit more. This is one with a slightly smaller base bow. Like I said, that would be about a 3-inch underneath the 1-inch ribbon one. Again, that one is nice. That one's one where it's a little bit longer. So like I said, play around and work out what you want. If you don't like the base bow, you don't have to have them. You could have them without. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, don't be afraid to add that touch of glue until you get the points nice with your stitching and everything. And thank you for watching. If you need any more help or advice on any of the tips that I've shown you today, feel free to join me on my Facebook page and group. I'm always about, and answer any questions that you've got about the tutorials that you might want. And like I said, I always put where the sizes all in the description, and any changes to technique and where I get my ribbon from. So that's always down below in the description boxes. So feel free to have a look at that one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye.